Guys, just confirm if you are able to see the PPT. I'm switching off my camera to help those of you who have low bandwidth. Okay, chat में और भी सवाल आ गए हैं. Yes, okay, great. Perfectly fine. PPT is visible. Okay. So today we'll not do too many questions. We'll focus on the funda of that, or rather funda of decision making, because it is important to understand the logic behind decision making and how those questions have to be tackled. Okay. So otherwise, you will always be one way is to just pick up question and do it. Okay. But I believe that before we pick up question and start solving them, थोड़ा logic clear होना चाहिए कि how do you pick up the right answer? What is the criteria to be used? Okay. And then we can always come back to the other stuff. Okay. So this is going to be a shorter session as compared to the next two sessions. But I would say more important because अगर यहाँ पे फंडा क्लियर हो गया तो फिर आगे चल जाएगा. Sarthak, just drop a mail to support@careerlauncher.com. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. Now, very, very quickly, just to address the issue which some of you have already raised. Okay. 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 Those of you are worried about GK. Okay. Those of you are worried about GK reintroduced, but more importantly, evaluated only at the time of the interview and not to be really worried about. As long as you have been reading newspapers, you should be able to get out of those 20 questions, maybe 7, 8 correct answers. Okay. And they've got 0 negative marking. So you should definitely mark an answer to every question. And hopefully some of those guesses will also be right. Okay. Okay. And what we are talking about today is this decision making. While the first section of 26 questions of verbal ability, logical reasoning, and the last question of 28 questions of quantitative ability and DI are the regular sections, what you need to remember that verbal ability and verbal and logical ability is a little more difficult in XAT as compared to CAT. Why do I say that? Because when you look at this particular section, this will have, out of the 26 questions, typically you'll have 15 questions of RC, 2 questions of, let's say, okay, let me put it this way, 13 to 14 questions of RC, about 2 questions of a poem RC. So, and the balance 10 odd questions are your verbal ability questions. Okay. Okay. And this is where the challenge lies, because most of the time you'll find the passages which are there in XAT are slightly more dense, difficult to understand as compared to what has been CAT, though they'll be shorter. If CAT, the average length of the passage was about 500 odd words, these are going to be 300, 350 word passages, but the level of difficulty or the denseness of the passage will be higher. And that is where you'll have to focus on, which is why, unlike CAT, where I say you should just go through the passage quickly and move on to the question. And I say quickly, obviously with understanding and reading at your pace. Here, I would say make sure you understand everything. Make sure you go through the passage at a comfortable pace. If it is lesser than your normal pace, not an issue. Here, you have to make sure you go through the passage completely and then go to the question. There will be a couple of questions every time, or at least 1 out of 3 questions in which you will need to go back to the passage. And here you should, because these are questions which are going to be a little difficult to handle. As I said, denseness is going to be higher. And just to clarify, if you need to go back, it's perfectly fine because there's sufficient time available. Yeah. Same thing in quantitative ability, 28 questions, similar to CAT. And I would say, okay, let me put it this way. This is, as far as this particular section is concerned, verbal ability, CAT is easier than XAT. Okay. But when it comes to quantitative abilities, CAT is more difficult than XAT. So those of you are worried कि यार CAT में quant अच्छा नहीं हुआ, यहाँ कैसे होगा, यहाँ हो जाएगा. But this section, if you have looked at the past 5-year papers also, you'll find कि थोड़ा सा आसान है as compared to CAT. Okay. The level of difficulty, and as I said, the other thing is luxury of time. Okay. Now, for these 28 questions, let me put it this way, out of the 170 minutes, my advice would be to give something like 55 minutes to verbal and logical ability, 45 minutes to decision making, about 70 minutes here. Okay. And that's a broad, I would say, segregation of time you could look at. You can obviously modify it here and there, and may make sure that you are not rushing through verbal logical ability, and make sure you're not spending excessive time in decision making. Well, decision making is something where you can spend endless amount of time. Okay. So quantitative ability, the section which is easier than CAT, 70 minutes availability. You can, out of these 28 questions, typically DI would be something like 8 to 10 questions, and quantitative aptitude is about 18 to 20 questions. Okay, so that's a broad breakup, and it is not difficult to attempt something like 20, 22, 23 questions in the 70 odd minutes. Okay. 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 General knowledge is the second part of the paper. 10 questions to be done in 20 minutes. Sorry, 20 questions to be done in 10 minutes. I'm sorry, my mistake. Okay. And as I said, not evaluated for percentile at the time of taking the interview. Okay. For your interview shortlisting, these are not, GK is not evaluated at all. Okay. Okay. There are a couple of questions. Let me pick them up first, then we go further. Okay. How many RC should be attempted ideally? Ideally, you do the complete paper. Okay. Now, when you look at these out of, let's say there are 5 RCs, maybe you leave a question here or there, but go through all of them. You see, please understand the basic difference between CAT and XAT is here you have sufficient time. Okay. So you should do everything. Okay. Okay. And though I would always say attempt VA first and then go to RC. Okay. Attempt VA first because these 7, 8, or let's say 8 to 9 questions, you should be able to get about 5 to 6 marks, which means you will be almost close to the cutoff. And yes, there's sectional cutoff in verbal ability in each of the 3 sections. A rule of thumb is if you get a double-digit score in any of the 3 sections, you are by and large clearing the cutoff. The only exception being occasionally quantitative ability, the cutoff has gone to about 11, 12 also. Okay. But that is when there are very, very easy papers. Okay. Okay. Next, there's a question, should we do PYQs from 2008 to 25 or CL marks first and then PYQ? Both have to go parallelly. Okay. As far as, okay, just a second. Yeah. As far as QA is concerned, I would say you should do XAT papers from 2018 to 25. As far as DM and verbal ability and logical reasoning is concerned, you should do XAT papers from 2008 to 25. Okay. And start parallelly. There's no hard and fast rule कि पहले mock करेंगे फिर करेंगे, दोनों को साथ साथ शुरू कर दो, and things should be okay. Okay. Subhan says optional elimination suffers in there 5 options. No, not really. While it does on the face of it create some problem, but you'll find when you have to create 5 options, the 5th option usually is a very stupid option. You will still be able to eliminate, if not one, if not 2, if not 3, at least 2 options very, very comfortably. Okay. I would suggest Utsav that start with quant, arithmetic and algebra straight away, and DI, and look at doing these remaining topics as you go along. Hello, I've already said there's a sectional cutoff. What about the sequence of answering the sections? The sequence is your prerogative. The way I do it is this only. I start with English, spend about 55 minutes here. Then I go to DM, spend about 45 minutes here. And then I go to QA and give about 60 odd minutes, 60, 65 minutes, typically about 60 minutes. And then after that, I'll see if there's anything else to be done in the other section. Typically, nothing more is required here. Maybe 1 odd question in English, and then I will probably be back to quant. So choose your sequence based on your comfort. Any sequence is fine, or rather the sequence which you are most comfortable is the best sequence. Sneha is saying my snap is on 14th and 20th and now XAT. Sneha, as far as snap is concerned, just take the mocks. So before you go for snap, if you have taken 4, 5 mocks, I think you should be fine. Keep your focus on that. Okay, there are a few questions which are getting repeated, so I'm skipping them. Okay, Navya says my strongest area is VRC and quant is weak. So Navya, give quant 70 minutes and see if you can do 12, 13, 14 questions. If you can do about 15 questions, you are very, very safe. And VA being your verbal being your strong area is going to be huge advantage to you, because here the difficult section is the verbal section. तो अनमोल पैनिक करने से कुछ होगा नहीं ना. ओके, डोंट वरी यार, बार बार बोल रहा हूँ, कैट को भूल जाओ, हो गया. I have already said what are the past papers you need to focus on apart from the mocks. Okay, Harsh is saying decision making seems subjective. What should I do? Harsh, today's session is to help you understand how to tackle decision making questions. So we'll go into that. Okay, I'm not looking at the questions. Okay, let me just see if there's something specific. Okay. Snap Easy, I had attempted 50. Great, Sarthak. Hopefully, you'll get a call from there. Yes, GM Redux is fine. Okay, so I'm skipping the question now, and then we will go to the topic and start looking at the funda now. Okay. Okay. I think I've covered this earlier also, so I'm not really worried about this part, except the last thing I'm again highlighting. It is more of a critical reasoning and decision-making paper than a quant paper. CAT is essentially a quant DILR paper, number-based. This is the reverse. Okay. Okay. Now there are two broad type of cases. When you look at XAT, there are two broad type of cases. First, they're called non-analytical. When there's a situation which is given, okay, there's a situation which is not dependent on numbers. Okay. Okay. So these are both situations given, but these are situation which is not dependent on numbers or etc. etc. While analytical is almost like your DILR. Okay. So DILR is not what we are looking for. Okay, but let's look at the first case just to understand. Nikki, Manoj, and Benita are graduates from a top rank B school. They joined ABC Corporation a year ago. ABC known for its performance-oriented culture. This is the first time the organization recruited from a top rank B school. They are part of a 5-member team with 2 others from lower rank B schools. Okay. Nikki, Manoj, and Benita draw 40% higher salaries than the other team members. This team reports to Amelia Ganeshmurthy, a senior executive. Amelia is disappointed with the performance of Nikki, Manoj, and Benita. She came to know that ABC was not their first choice and they had spent their first 10 months applying to other organizations. However, they have not started liking ABC and promised to do their best henceforth. Amelia has to rate their annual performance and decide their future. Now, look at this. This is kind of a situation which you will encounter in your workplace. Okay, and many times these are almost real life situations. Okay, okay. These are almost real life situations, and these are typically the problem you face when you're in a job. Okay, and the challenge which Amelia is facing is a challenge which many of you would face when you get into your workplace. So you have to. Now, this is what is given to you. She has to rate the performance. But when you go to the question, you need to remember this data. But in addition to remembering this data, what you also need to be clear about is the fact that that there's some situation which is given or some criteria which is given based on which you have to do the honors. Out here, she has to rate the annual performance based on certain criteria. And that is what you'll need to look for. Okay. If you look at the second one, it is a number-based thing. Mr. Arbit and Mr. Boring started oil refinery business. Annual revenues of 50,000 million. They're expanding. They're exploring various options to improve business. Mr. X, a salesperson of ITS, is trying to sell a new oil refining technology to both of them. The technology could potentially enhance their earning so many years, but they have to make one-time investment. So the earning can increase by this much, but the investment required is this much. Okay. If the technology is not successful, the investment will be lost. They are discussing the possible risks of the investment, and then they will have some data in the question based on which we'll have to answer. So very clearly, analytical is more like DIR or is number based, while the non-analytical or behavioral is more about the situation in which you have to take a decision. Okay. 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 Let's look at the non-analytical case studies that we are looking at today. Okay. First case for you. Please, all of you, read this case in front of you. Giving you a minute and 2 minutes to read the case. Then we will look at it again. Yeah, Shubham, these are. Okay. Let's have a look at that case given. The Disciplinary Committee of National Political Party, NPP, is meeting today to decide the future of two of their party members, Mr. Loyal and his son, Mr. Prodigal. Mr. Prodigal is the prime accused in the brutal murder of Mr. Victim, an opposition party leader. Mr. Prodigal is in police custody and his appeal for bail has been rejected. Mr. Loyal claims that his son is innocent and Mr. Victim's death was a result of internal rivalry in the opposition party. Though Mr. Loyal is not accused in the case, his weakness for his son is well known. The media is blaming him for influencing key witness to protect his son. Severe criticism of the father-son duo, both by the media and some social activists is damaging the image of the party. Okay. However, Mr. Loyal has a significant followers within the party and is considered an asset to the party. Any harsh decision against Mr. Loyal would adversely affect the future of NPP and could even lead to split in the party. This would benefit the opposition. So what do we have here? We have just the situation given to us. Okay? We have just the situation given to us, and within that situation, we have the facts of the case, or let me put it this way, and based on this situation, we will be getting questions. So what are the key aspects of this situation? First thing is, okay, just give me a minute before we go to the question. The key aspects of the question is that Mr. Loyal and his son, Mr. Prodigal, are they part of? They both are part of National Political Party. Okay, Mr. Prodigal is an accused in the murder of an opposition leader, and Mr. Prodigal is in police custody and has not received bail. Mr. Loyal says his son is innocent, and there was some internal rivalry within the political party because of which the person was murdered, and obviously not by his son. Okay, now Mr. Loyal, the media and the opposition are baying for him because he has a weakness for his son, and it is said that he is influencing key witnesses to protect his son. Okay, so this is damaging the image of the party. Which party? National Political Party, NPP. Okay. However, the fact also remains that Mr. Loyal has a significant following within the party and is considered to be asset. Any harsh decision against, this is critical, any harsh decision against Loyal would adversely affect the future of NPP. Now, all we have is a situation. We don't know what we are supposed to do. We'll get to know what we are supposed to do in the questions. Okay. So let's move to the question then, next thing which is there in front of us. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Now let's look at the questions. Okay. And I would want you to write your answer. Don't share it right now on the chat box. Just write your answer for each of these three. Question one. Uh-oh. At the disciplinary committee meeting, members came up with the following suggestions. Which of the following suggestions would harm the party least? Now, this is critical. Now, what is this? This is my decision criteria. I have to take a decision such that the party gets the minimum damage, such that there's a minimum damage to the party. Whatever decision you take, if you take a decision in favor of Mr. Loyal, the media, social activists, etc., will still come after this, after NPP. If you take a decision against Mr. Loyal, then Mr. Loyal has a significant following, and that could damage the party. Okay, so it is both ways an issue as far as the situation is concerned. So the criteria is, and that is what is called dharm sankat. So in many of these questions of DM, you'll find will be the dharm sankat kind of question where you have to balance the situation and take the best decision, and the criteria is given to you. And as I said, I have to take a decision based on the criteria that the party should have the minimum damage. Okay. 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 So let's look at the choices. Okay. Choice A, maintain status quo. Choice B, expel Mr. Prodigal from the party with immediate effect to maintain party's clean image. Choice C, initiate an internal inquiry to find the truth. Fourth, suspend Mr. Prodigal from the party with immediate effect, but announce he'll be taken back if the court declares him innocent. E, suspend both Mr. Loyal and Mr. Prodigal from the party with immediate effect. Okay. Now, these are the questions given to us. I hope you have already written down your answers. What about the second one? Okay. Now, look at the change in the situation. The criteria in the first question is this: which would harm the party the least? Which means if it harms Mr. Loyal, it does not matter. If it harms Prodigal, it does not matter. The damage to the party should be the least. That is the criteria which we have to look at. When you go to question number 2, which of the following would adversely affect both the most? Which which of the following action will ensure that both NPP and Mr. Loyal will have a negative thing in front of them? Both of them will get damaged. Okay. A, take no action against Mr. Loyal. B, suspend Mr. Prodigal from the party with immediate effect. C, expel Mr. Loyal from the party with immediate effect. D, ban Mr. Loyal from entering the party premises till completion of the court proceedings. E, initiate an internal inquiry also. And I am again repeating, out here now my decision criteria is this one. That the damage should be maximum to both NPP and Mr. Loyal. In question 1, the decision criteria was minimize the damage to the NPP. Third question, the situation changes. The disciplinary committee has decided to suspend Mr. Loyal from the party because they felt he was influencing the judicial process. However, Mr. Loyal feels that the committee is biased and he is being framed. Now elections have been announced. Last time, Mr. Loyal had won with a majority on account of his good work. Which of the following option is most likely to resurrect Mr. Loyal's immediate political career? So now you look at this question, my decision criteria changes again. Decision is criteria is which of the following actions is going to ensure that Mr. Loyal's political career gets a boost. So look at 3 questions, 3 different decision criteria. Many times you'll find, or rather most of the time you'll find that decision criteria is not given here. This is just a statement of the situation, or let me say statement of facts. Okay. The situation is explained to you. Okay. Those of you who have done case studies in college, it is similar. The case, the situation, the facts of the case are given to you. And when you go to the question, each question will give you a different decision criteria, or the decision criteria is usually given inside the question. Based on that decision criteria, you have to then take the right decision. The critical thing here is that what is the decision criteria for you? Okay. Once you pick up the right decision criteria, task becomes that much more easier. Okay. So first one was minimum damage to the party. Second one was maximum damage to party and Mr. Loyal. Third is resurrection of Mr. Loyal's career. Okay. Now, okay, let's go to this. Go to the answers. Okay. Just for the record, you can note down the answers. Choice D, C, and A. Okay. But before we go to the questions and look at the answers, I want you to understand the process of getting the of solving a case study. Okay. What is the process that we need to adopt is what I would want you to understand. Okay. Now, first thing is always going to be situation. Okay. Yeah. So what is a situation analysis? A situation analysis, okay. So situation analysis is my first step. It is then followed by identifying the problem, identifying the decision criteria, identifying the various course of actions or the alternatives. Evaluate these alternatives and then come to the solution. Okay. Now, those of you, as I said, who have done case studies, it has a similar format. Okay. Even in the case study, you will do the situation analysis, you will identify the problem, and once you've identified the problem, you will generate the alternatives based on the criteria given to you or criteria identified by you. Okay. And once you have identified the alternatives, choose the rank the alternatives, and which is a primary and which is a secondary primary and the secondary course of action is what we need to do. Okay. Yes, I will be discussing answers. Lubjeet, just hold on. We'll go to that. So this is my situation analysis, first of all. Okay. What do I do in a situation analysis? As I said, when I'm reading it, I'm just trying to, without any biases, trying to get the facts of the situation. So it is the facts of the case that I'm looking at. Okay. So situation analysis is just about understanding the situation. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So what do the situation analysis tells us? First thing it tells us, there's a disciplinary committee and the future of Mr. Loyal and his son, Mr. Prodigal, is at stake. Mr. Prodigal is an accused of murdering Mr. Vinton. He's in jail and has not been granted any bail. Mr. Loyal supports his son, and media and the opposition parties are blaming for influencing key witnesses. Okay. Because of which the party image has been damaged, and any harsh decision will be detrimental to the party because Mr. Loyal has a significant following within the party. So there's a situation. Okay. There's a situation which has been given to us. Okay. Now, problem. There's a problem we have. What do we do with Mr. Loyal and his son? Okay. And what is the decision criteria? In general, I would say look at this as a decision criteria. Your decision criteria has to be that you should be fair, ethical, you should address the problem, and you should be rational and not extreme. Let me explain. I don't think fair and ethical need to be explained. But remember, ethical is again a criteria-based thing. For example, if you look at the questions out here. Okay. Yeah. What's ethical about this? Okay. Similarly, which would affect Mr. NPP and Mr. Loyal the most? What will lead to the maximum damage to NPP and Mr. Loyal? So it's got nothing to do with ethics, no? Also, the most ethical is not the answer here. We are looking at damaging these two entities. So which action would damage the two entities the most? So ethical is always remember, question, while you should keep in your mind that you should be ethical, etc., etc., but you have to stick to the decision criteria. And if you don't stick to the decision criteria, blindly go for the most ethical option, then you are going to be making a mistake. Okay. Okay. Yeah. But in general, whenever you have a situation, please remember you should be fair to all concerned. You have to be ethical. You have to address the problem. Problem has to be taken into account, and you should be rational on that extreme. The punishment for every, let's say, crime cannot be death penalty. The extent of damage leads to the extent of punishment. Okay. So your a pickpocket gets a less amount of punishment as compared to someone who's let's say doing vandalism. Okay. So please remember, you have to be rational, or the punishment should be in proportion to the crime, if I can use that statement. You have to address the issue concerned, and as I said, you have to be fair and ethical. This, in general, what you need to remember: fear as a criteria. Okay. If nothing is given, this is what I will use. But as far as this case is concerned, I would say by and large, if I was the disciplinary committee of NPP, this is what I would be looking for. As a disciplinary committee of NPP, I would want the party image to be not damaged and the future of party is protected. This is what I will be looking for. So as far as this, if there was no question which are criteria, then I would possibly be looking at these as the criteria. So what I want you to remember, that criteria is given in two places. One, inside the passage itself. For example, if I read the passage, then these are the criteria which will come out. That means the party image to be taken care of and party's future be taken care of. Why am I talking about party future? Because a harsh action against Mr. Loyal is going to be damaging for the party, because Mr. Loyal has significant following inside the party. Okay. And who are the stakeholders here? All of them. Mr. Loyal and Mr. Prodigal are obviously the first stakeholders out here. Okay. Then the national political party is there, opposition party, media and activists, and the courts. All of them are stakeholders out here. Okay. Whether the questions talk about them or not does not matter, because once you understand who the stakeholders are, you will possibly be able to take a better decision. Okay. Now let's look at the first question. And what we are looking for is which are the okay, which would damage party the least. So the criteria is minimum damage to the party. Okay. So maintain status quo. Will it lead to big damage, small damage? It will lead to some damage. Okay. But I can't say anything till I compare it with other choices. So one of the things which I would want you to always remember, as far as decision making is concerned, you have to read all choices and do inter-se comparison. Choices and do a comparison of choices. So you have to compare the choices more than anything else. Okay. And you have to look at the choice which satisfies the condition the most. Okay. Maintain status quo. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, what is the problem with maintaining status quo? It is not addressing the issue. Remember, I said we have to address the issue. You have to address the problem. Maintaining status quo means you are not addressing the issue at all. And what is the issue in front of us? The issue is that the image of the party is getting damaged because of continuous pressure from the media and social activists and the opposition parties. While I may not worry so much about the opposition parties, I'll definitely be worried as a political party about the media and the social activists if they're against the party. Okay. So it will lead to the damage. So it is not addressing the problem. It's the biggest problem with statement 1 or choice A, and hence it is not a good option to look at. Choice B. Expel Mr. Prodigal from the party with immediate effect to maintain party's clean image. Okay. Now, what's good about this choice or not good about this choice? What is it that you are unhappy with about if you look at this particular choice. I would not say extreme, but it is premature. Expel him on what basis? Are you the judge, jury? Are you the one? Are you the court system which is saying that the person is guilty? Remember, he's an under trial. He's an under trial as such at this point of time. And if he's an under trial, then you should not be taking this decision. Okay, so expelling is an extreme step. Okay, yes, Shivam, expelling is a extreme step, and hence it is not a good option. Okay. Second problem is if Mr. Prodigal is let's say expelled from the party, what will Mr. Loyal do? What will Mr. Loyal do then? He will also leave. He will also leave, and he has got a significant following. He's got a significant following, and whose followers will also leave with him or damage the party. So actually, choice B is going to damage the party significantly, because while maintaining status quo, as an NPP, I only have to worry about the opposition parties or the social media or the let's say social activists. Choice B, I have to worry internally also. Okay, so it is going to damage the party, because at this point of time, Mr. Loyal will definitely take umbrage to it and say कि भैया जब तक court ने नहीं rule किया, who are you to decide whether my son is guilty or not? Okay, so choice A and B, I would say not good. They will harm the party, but if I have to choose between A and B, I will go for A. So between A and B, I will typically go for A. A is a better option as compared to B. Yeah. Choice C, initiate an internal inquiry to find the truth. Utsav, are you clear about option B? Or you want me to explain it again? Okay. Utsav, two things out here. If you have to expel Mr. Prodigal, on what basis will you expel him? If he's found guilty, if he has been found guilty, then yes, expelling him makes sense. But at this point of time, he's only an under trial. While he has not got bail, he's not been pronounced guilty in the murder. If he's pronounced as guilty in the murder, then obviously expelling him is the right approach. Secondly, if you expel Mr. Prodigal, his dad, Mr. Loyal, is also going to leave the party and work against the party along with his followers. So choice B is going to damage the party significantly. Choice A is just maintaining the status quo. Okay. Choice C is a very stupid choice. Whose job is it to find the truth? It is a court. It is the investigation machinery which has to find the truth about the situation. You are not supposed to replicate the court process, or rather you cannot. So choice C is again an irrelevant choice. Okay, so choice C is an irrelevant choice and hence should not be considered at all, because this is not the job of the political party to set up an internal inquiry to find the truth. It is a murder case. It is not some internal thing which has happened inside the party. Okay. Choice D. So out here I'll straight away eliminate, because as I said, A is better than B. And C is completely irrelevant, so I've eliminated. Choice D. Suspend Mr. Prodigal from the party with the immediate effect, but announce he will be taken back if the court declares him innocent. Now, what will this do? It will ensure that Mr. Loyal remains in the party. Secondly, absolutely right, Harsh. This also emphasizes on that basic principle, innocent until proven guilty. So this is a good option from NPP's point of view. This is better than status quo. Why is this better than status quo? Because status quo, I will still have the social media or the media and the activists running after me. Once I have suspended Mr. Prodigal, they will not have a strong case against NPP. Okay. Also, they have said if he's found innocent, I will take him back. So that means Mr. Loyal will be happy, the media will be happy, social activists will be happy that some action have been taken. And Mr. Loyal will be happy because there's an assurance that his son will be taken care of. Okay. So at this point of time, I would now say, D is better than A. So this goes out of the window. Okay. E, suspend Mr. Loyal and Mr. Prodigal from the party with. Now, why Mr. Loyal? Illogical, na? Mr. Loyal has not done anything. There's no proof against him. Again, why do you suspend him? So, as far as I am concerned, this is illogical. Secondly, this is a choice which is going to harm the party significantly, because if Mr. Loyal is also suspending along with Mr. Prodigal, then Mr. Loyal will, along with his followers, possibly create another party or damage the NPP. So, best option out here is choice D. Vidhi, can a politic if there's some crime committed, can you go and do the investigation? Whose job is it to do the investigation? Do you even have the tools and techniques or the power to do that investigation? There's a murder case. It is not an internal thing which has happened inside the party. It's not an internal matter of the party. It is a criminal case which has been launched. So out here, we are looking at the situation is not a good enough answer. Okay. Okay. So choice D, as I said, is hence the best option from our point of view. Next. Which of the following action would adversely affect NPP and Mr. Loyal the most? Okay. Which is going to damage both of them the most? Okay. Okay. Let's look at the choices. Take no action against Mr. Loyal. Okay. Okay. If you take no action against Mr. Loyal, the NPP will be negatively impacted. No action against Mr. Loyal means NPP will be negatively impacted, but Mr. Loyal will still be happy with it. So it is not going to adversely impact Mr. Loyal because NPP has not taken any action against him or his son. So he'll be happy, but NPP will continue to face the challenge of let's say, the questioning from the media and the social activists. So NPP, it is negative, but for Mr. Loyal, it is positive. Okay? So it is negative for NPP and positive for Mr. Loyal. And we're looking for something which is negative for both of them. Okay. Next one. Suspend Mr. Prodigal from the party with immediate effect. Okay. Now, suspend Mr. Prodigal from the party with immediate effect. What does this mean? It doesn't mean anything actually. Suspending Mr. Prodigal with immediate effect, it does not really negatively impact any of them. In fact, it will be looked at a little positively by the media and social activists in favor of NPP. And Mr. Loyal also will be happy that Khali suspend kiya, because suspension can always be revoked. Okay, so it is not going to be really negative for any one of them. Hence, it is not going to be a good option. So I'm saying this is not a negative for any one of them. Okay. Choice C, expel Mr. Loyal from the party with immediate effect. Okay. Now, will this damage the party? Yes, it will damage the party significantly. Will it have a negative impact on Mr. Loyal? Yes, it will have a negative impact on Mr. Loyal also. Okay. So choice C, the issue with choice C is that when you look at this particular choice, expelling Mr. Loyal, he has not done anything wrong. At least there's no data against Mr. Loyal except rumors. So from the party's point of view, if they expel Mr. Loyal will take away his followers with him. He's got a significant following within the party. and hence he can then look at damaging the party significantly. Okay. So expelling Mr. Loyal with immediate impact is not going to be positive for NPP. So it is negative for NPP, and it is also negative for Mr. Loyal, because now whatever clout Mr. Loyal had within the party, he has probably lost, and he will not be able to help his son also, and his political career might have some challenges. At this point of time, I'll say choice A and B can be eliminated. At this point, I'll say C is definitely better than A or B. Okay. Choice D. Ban Mr. Loyal from entering party premises till completion of the court proceedings. What kind of option is it? Banning him from entering party premises, what is it going to achieve? Nothing. Okay, so it is something which you can just ignore it completely, because it looks like a superficial action. The media, etc., and the social activities will not be happy with this. Okay, and while banning Mr. Loyal from entering party premises till completion of court proceeding is there, it hardly matters. I will not come to the party office, but I'm still a member of the party. So again, as far as I'm concerned, I would say choice D, not a good option. Okay. Choice E, again, stupid choice. It is not your job to find the truth. It is the judiciary, the police, they and the investigating agencies which will do that job. You have to stick to your role. So what is going to harm adversely both of them? Choice C. Okay, Bhavna says, can we conclude from the passage that as Mr. Loyal has great following in the party, Mr. Prodigal also has following and directly suspending will affect the party? No, Bhavna, we cannot assume that. All we can say, Mr. Loyal has following in the party. We cannot transfer that loyalty or that support for his son also. Okay. Okay. Utsav says, how is C negative for Loyal? He'll join other party and will have huge followers join this party. See, you are moving out from the political party, which is the ruling party. So if you move out from the ruling party, will it be positive or negative for you? You lose some power. You lose the perks of being in power. So it is going to be negative for Mr. Loyal. Option B is bad for Mr. Loyal because yes, but please remember, Harish, it is suspension. There's a difference between suspension and expulsion. I'm sure you're aware of it. Suspension is temporary till we get more data. Okay, till investigation is on. Suspension is always by nature temporary. Okay, but as far as expulsion is concerned, it is not temporary. So choice B, suspension. So it is positive for Mr. Loyal. Okay. Yeah, Shishang, I agree with you. Okay, let's go to the next question then. Okay. That's question number 2 we have done. Question 3. Disciplinary committee has decided to suspend Mr. Loyal from the party because they felt he was influencing the judicial process. However, Mr. Loyal feels that the committee is biased and he is being framed. Now elections have been announced. The last time Mr. Lloyd had won with a majority on account of his good work. Which are the following options most likely to resurrect Mr. Loyal's immediate political career? So what is the criteria? Resurrection of Mr. Loyal's immediate political career, not the long term. In the short term, what is the best situation for him to be in? Now, elections have been announced. If elections have been announced, last time he had won with a majority on account of good work. Okay. So how can he restrict his political career? if he contests elections and wins, that is the ultimate thing. So I would say contest elections and win. This is something which is going to help resurrect Mr. Loyal's career. Okay. So let's look at the choices. Main opposition party has invited Mr. Loyal to join the party in custody election, chance of winning a high. So if the chance of winning a high, this is going to be favorable for him. So choice A can be the answer, just hold on with it. Choice B, not participating in the campaign and instructing his followers to stay away from the campaign process. Now, if he does not participate in the campaign and instruct his followers to stay away from the campaign process, how will it help his career? His career will get resurrected only if he wins the election. So choice B is not a good option because out here his he'll become irrelevant. Someone else will win and go into the Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, or whatever the case may be, or the state assembly. Okay, and Mr. Loyal will be left on the wayside. So participating and contesting and winning is the key thing, I would say, rather than just getting sitting outside. Yeah. Choice C: ask his followers to support NPP, nominate candidate, and display his loyalty towards NPP. Great. He's displayed his loyalty towards NPP, but what has happened? Someone else has won. He's no longer part of the assembly, and he's out. So it is not going to resurrect his career. So as far as Mr. Loyal is concerned, it is not going to be beneficial for Mr. Loyal. Will it be beneficial for the political party NPP? Yes, it will be. It is beneficial for NPP, but not for Mr. Loyal. So choice C again is wrong. Okay, choice D. Mr. Loyal should contest as an independent candidate. Because of split in votes, his chance of winning will be low. If the chance of winning is low, it is not a good option. As I said, to me, this is the most important thing. Win the next election. Choice D is saying, as an independent, your chance of winning is low, so you should not go for it. Choice E, influence the nomination process through his followers within NPP to get one of his close associates nominated. If one of his associates is nominated but not him, then who becomes powerful? The associate becomes powerful, not Mr. Lloyd. So choice E is not going to restrict his career, neither was D. The correct answer is choice A. Okay, there's a question from Himanshu. Okay, uh, before that, there's a question which has come. Okay, AM. Anurag. Anurag, please read the question. The question is not long term, the question is immediate political career. We are saying a choice C is a good long term solution. Choice, but we are not interested. The criteria is immediate, not long term. So this is long term. At best, this is a long term solution. But we are not interested long term. We are interested in immediate. Okay. So Anurag, I hope that clears it for you. Next one, Himanshu. I was confused between A and E. How is A better than E? Because it is not stated that Mr. Loyal is the main guy in the opposition party. It does not matter. Himanshu, to me, this is the line which is important. Chances of winning are high. Okay. Chances of winning are high, and E says he will not win. At best, his associate will win. If the associate wins, does it benefit me or does it benefit my associate? Obviously, it will benefit my associate. Okay. Okay. So please understand, my job is not to be ethical out here. Shashank, Shashank, my job is not to be ethical. Okay. My job is to look at the criteria. Okay. Utsav says, how is he long term? He's already suspended. Again, Utsav, as I said, suspension is temporary. Yeah. Suspension is not the permanent thing. Expulsion means you're out of the party. Suspension means it will be overturned once we are convinced that you're fine. Okay. Yes, Akash, agree with you. Okay. You have to base it on the question. And out here again, I'm repeating the critical thing as far as this particular question is concerned is this. Resurrect Mr. Loyal's immediate political career, not long-term political career. Okay. Okay. Chalo. Let's do another few questions. Question number 4. Take a couple of minutes, read the question, mark the answer for yourself. Don't type it in the chat box as yet. Yeah. Keep it with you. Don't type it in the chat box. Don't influence others at this point of time. Anmol, I think there's 6 sessions for decision making. Okay. You are a recruitment manager interviewing Mayank, a hard-working young man who has problems in speaking fluent English. He has studied in vernacular medium schools and colleges. Among the following options, what would you choose to do if your company has vacancies? Okay. Now, this is a question where you're that basic thing of being fair, or rather fear. Be fair, be ethical, address the problem, and be rational and not extreme. This comes into play because there's no criteria given. Okay. You are a recruitment manager. Mayank is a hardworking young man who has problems speaking fluent English. He has studied in vernacular medium schools and colleges. Which of the would you choose? And here, what is it? You should be fair to whom? You should be fair to Mayank and the company you are working for. You cannot just say, give Mayank anything and it harms the company. No. You are a recruitment manager. You have to recruit the right people for the posts which are available. Okay. So here, I would say, if I look at the question or the data set, this is not giving me any criteria. Okay. Though it is telling me that Mayank has problem in speaking fluent English, but no criteria is given. So I'll create the criteria out of this as be fair, be ethical, address the issue, and be rational and not extreme. Okay. Now let's look at the choices. I would hire him at all costs. You are not being fair to company. You are not being fair to the organization. Okay. Okay. You are not running a charity. As an organization, you have certain goals which you have to meet. So you have to be fair to the organization and pick up the person only if he or she is going to be beneficial for the organization. Okay. So A is definitely a wrong choice. B, I would hire him for the job he's good at and provide training in other areas. Maybe, yeah. Okay. There would be some areas in he's good at, and it says he's a hardworking young man. So maybe I can look at him for some specific kind of roles. Okay. Choice C. I would hire him for production or finance. but not for marketing job, which requires good communication skills. Now, is communication an issue? Yeah, I have a question for you. Does Mayank have poor communication skills? Yes or no? Okay. We don't know. We know he's hardworking. We know he has problem in speaking fluent English. So if I have to be very, very cautious, I'll say I don't know. Okay. I don't know whether he has problems in communication or not. But the choice is assuming communication skills. The choice is assuming that he does not have good communication skills. But there's another problem with the choice. The problem with this choice is assuming production or finance, you don't need communication skills. You need good communication skills even when you're talking to your internal team members. So this is a very stupid choice. It is assuming that production or finance job don't need communication skills, and it is also assuming that there's a problem with the communication skills of Mayank. So too many assumptions out here. I would not consider this. Choice G is the same. Again, बेकार में communication में घुसा हुआ है. Okay. Choice E, again the same thing. He might be a burden on the organization because of his poor communication skills. So the issue is not about communication. The issue is he cannot speak fluent English. So hire him for the job if he's good at and provide training for another areas. This becomes an obvious thing. Okay. So as I said, this is the issue, not communication. Okay, next one, question 5 for you. Take about 3 minutes. Okay. Let's look at the situation. The city of Nagal has a population of 10 million, 2 million of whom are rich, 3 million poor, and 5 million belong to the middle class. Saundarya Cosmetics manufactured and sold beauty products to the rich class at premium price. Its products were very popular with customers. Okay. Many people from the middle and poor segments of the population aspired to buy these products but could not afford because of the high prices. Of late, sales growth has been stagnating in the rich segment. Which of the following is the best option for Saunders Cosmetics to maximize long-term profit? Now, this is very clearly telling you what is my criteria. Is maximization of long-term profit. Okay. So the decision criteria is that I need to maximize my long-term profit. Okay. Okay. Let me see what answers have been given by all of you. Okay. D, B, and A. C, even including C. So we have seen D, B, A, and C out here. There's a D, B, A, and C. No one for E, it seems. Okay, there's no one out here. Who's that? It is A, B, C, D. No one seems to be interested in E. That's fine. Let's get started. Now, so Saunders Cosmetics, just to be clear, Saunders Cosmetics manufactured and sold beauty products to rich class at a premium price. Popular products with customers. Many people from the middle and poor segment aspired to buy these products, but could not afford due to high prices. Sales growth has been stagnating in the rich segment. Best option to maximize long-term profit. Okay. Okay. Statement choice A. Sell similar products of different quality standards with different brand names to middle and poor classes. Okay. So similar products to different quality standards. Obviously, if you are selling into the premium segment, it will have certain ingredients which are going to be more expensive. Okay. And if you can remove some of those ingredients, you can still sell the similar products at to the lower segment at a lower price. Okay. What will this do? This will open up the market of the middle and the poorer segments. So choice A is a reasonable choice because it allows you to attract the middle and the poor classes as well. Okay. So reasonable choice, we'll hold on with this one. Utsav, change the option from the last slide. Okay. कुछ नहीं यार. ऊपर नीचे हो गई, don't worry. A and B have been interchanged, that's all. Okay. So let's go with these choices only, no problems. Choice B, sell the same product at lower prices to middle and poor class. Is this a good idea? If we are selling the same product to the lower price to middle and poor class, what stops the rich people also to say, let me take that same product which is being sold at the lower price? How will you segregate? How will you ensure that the rich people will not buy the same product? So all this will achieve is the rich will also start buying the product at lower prices. So not a good option. Choice A is reasonable, but choice B can definitely be eliminated because this will ensure that over a period of time, my pricing will keep coming down. Yes, absolutely right. So it is not also fair to the rich. Choice C, sell its products under different brand names to middle and poor classes. Okay. Now, what's the difference between choice A and C? What's the difference between choice A and C? Quality. Quality is changing. Okay. Second, so between A and C, it says sell the product under different brand names to middle and poor. A says similar products, not the same product, of different quality standards. Here, there's no segregation. It has same product, which means almost it is the same thing as choice B. And here it is again silent about the pricing. Okay. Okay. Okay, so C again is not a good option. D, continue to target the rich only and hope today's middle class would. Stupid choice. If you continue only with the rich, out of 10 million, right now you are targeting only 2 million. Your task should be to reach out to the other 8 million also too, so that you can maximize your long-term profit. So in the long term, you would want to reach out to all 10 million. And so choice D is directly against your long-term vision. So D can be straight away eliminated. E, target the middle class as the largest segment. Same problem as E, as D. It is saying effectively abandon the premium class, but premium is where you are able to charge a high price. It's the rich segment which is able to afford the premium products and able to give you higher profits or margins. The best option is A. In fact, if you look around, you will find many examples like this. For example, if you look at Unilever, it has a soap called Lifebuoy, and it also has a soap called Lux, and many other soaps. What are these? Similar products, different quality standards, different brand names, and different prices, targeting different segments. Adhan, Rolls-Royce does not want to do it. That's their problem. But does not Rolls-Royce also try to occasionally come out with lower price variants compared to what they have? Yeah. Yeah, profit rates are not discussed as such, Utsav, but based on the data, we have to choose the best. So, Animesh, you are saying, okay, where's Animesh gone? Okay. Animesh says the products are very popular amongst all. Okay. Animesh says it says product is popular because of the quality. So decreasing quality might hamper the brand. No, if it is different products, again, having both a Lifebuoy and Lux, does it hamper? Please tell me. Yeah, Animesh, having both Lifebuoy and Lux in the same portfolio, does it hamper the organization? No. It allows the company to reach out to a different segment completely. So you will have to have varying quality standards. I'm not saying substandard. Lifebuoy and Lux, both of them are soaps only ultimately. Both of them come from the same company, but they have different positioning. Himanshu says, wouldn't brand names take away from the aspiration factor? They may or may not. Okay. You are stuck on the brand name, but the poor people cannot afford it at all. So if I look at this soap market again. Look at the soap market again. You have Surf Excel, you have Wheel and others also from the same company. So there's a very, very common strategy to have different quality standard products for different segments based on the pricing which is possible. Yeah, Anmol says Toyota and Lexus. Even if you look at Mercedes, Mercedes has a A class, B class, C class, and so on and so forth. Look at BMW. They again have 3 series, 5 series, 2 series, and so on and so forth. Same, similar product, different quality standards is what I would say. Where is the ethical issue out here? Adhyan, I'm not clear about where is it the ethical issue coming from. As long as I'm not selling substandard product, inferior product, I'm selling different prices, different kind of products. That's all. Studio West Side. Okay, so Adhyan, again, I'll ask you the same thing. Is Unilever fooling people by having Lux and Lifebuoy both? Sarthak, absolutely right. Doesn't matter. Again, please go back to this statement. What is the criteria? Okay. What is the criteria? The criteria is to maximize long-term profit. So based on the criteria, you will be able to maximize your long-term profit if you are able to move to expand your market from 2 million to 10 million. You have to reach out to all the population, the entire population. Okay. Okay. Out here, I will say I should not lose the rich segment. I should be able to get the middle and the poor segments also on my side. Okay. Okay. Question number 6. This is one of the few questions I've seen which clearly says ethical option. This clearly says ethical option. Normally, questions not say ethical at all. Okay. But this is one of those questions यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. Okay. A database software manufacturing company found out that the product it had launched recently had a few bugs. The product has already been bought by more than 1 million customers. Company realized that the bugs would cost its customers significantly. However, if it informs the customers about the bug, it feared losing credibility. Most ethical option. Okay. Apologize, fix the bug for all customers, even if it has to incur losses. Okay. This being ethical, absolutely right. Do not tell the customer about bugs. You are not being ethical. Keep silent and do nothing, not being ethical. Keep silent but introduce an improved product that is bug free at the earliest. What guarantee is there that the next product will be bug free? Well, obviously, when you launch this product, it was an assumption that it is bug free. The same thing could happen there also. Again, keeping silent is not being ethical. Okay. So you being silent is not an option because you have to be ethical. Okay. Take the product off the market and apologize to the customer. Ethical, yes. Okay. But it is not even completing the process. What would be the ethical thing to do? Okay. Ethical thing would be to inform the customers, rectify the problem, and compensate them for the losses. That would be ethical thing to do. So choice E is wrong. So it's an incomplete choice. The best option is choice A. I thought this was a fairly easy question. Yeah. Utsav, why will losses not be fair to the company? Please look at the criteria. तुम criteria पे नहीं टिकते हो उत्सव. The criteria is ethical, most ethical option. Na? Is this not the criteria? Everything else takes a backseat when the question says this is the criteria. Okay. Now, supposing let me change the question. I am changing the question. What will be the best option for the company? Now, please tell me. Now, I am not talking about the most ethical option. I am talking about the best option. Okay, it is overwhelming me towards D. Okay. Actually, the answer will still be A. And I think a couple of examples were given by some of you only. Okay. Someone talked about this. Yeah. Let me just. Yeah, Anmol said, what did Samsung do when their Note 7 were getting blasting? What do many times car companies do when they find a flaw in the braking system or somewhere? Okay. Now, why is this still the best option? Forget about the ethical. This is still the best option because this will lead to long-term benefits for the company. Okay. In the long term, this will mean that the customers will be confident of this company. The customers will be confident of the company कि कहीं पे कुछ गलती होगी तो they will come back and help us rectify the situation. Yes, absolutely right. Retain customer goodwill. This okay, increases credibility. So even if the ethical option was not given, I would still go with choice A because this is a choice which will ensure that customers will stay with me. And again, those of you are saying D. How do you know that the next product will be bug free? Again, I have this question for those who are saying D. What guarantee can there be that the next product will be bug free? Yes, you will have to. You make a mistake, you'll have to incur the loss, Vidhi. What do you do about it? If you don't incur this loss, the customers will sooner or later find out that there's a problem with the product. The customers will then stop believing in you as an organization and you will lose business and there'll be nothing left about it. Okay. Shivam says, what is wrong with B? Shivam, what is wrong with B is this portion. It will lead to losses for the customer. Okay, we have a software tester who says, यही करना चाहिए. See, ultimately, what will benefit the organization? See, let us be very clear about this. Software development, no one can guarantee there won't be bugs. You will keep improving on your product as you go along. You'll keep removing the bugs as you go along, isn't it? So bug frees are not a concept that we should be even discussing. But what is the expectation of a customer? If there's a problem with your product, you will help me rectify it. You will rectify it and help me recover whatever it is I need to recover. Okay, that is the expectations of the customers always. No one expects a bug-free or a flawless product at all. Okay. 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 Last question of the day. I'm sure one choice can very easily be eliminated by all of you. Extreme. Actually, there are a couple of choices which are extreme. And what should be the decision criteria? Okay. Choice C, not addressing the issue. D and E, extreme. Okay. B, unfair to the philosophy of the company and to self also and to female employees. Choice A is the only practical solution out here. You are being fair to female employees. You are being fair to the men also. Okay. You have to be rational. See, D and E are not rational. They are extreme in any case and they are irrational. D and E. C is not addressing the issue. B is being unfair to the female employees. Okay. And also it is unfair to the core philosophy of the organization. Yeah, consensus के अकॉर्डिंग सीधा ए ही आ जाता है. Yeah. How is reducing the number of female employees? Okay, what is the issue out here? Some of the female employees, she realized that female employees were not willing to travel across cities to our work data. Now, what was the criteria for her to start the business? When she started business, what was her core philosophy? Gender discrimination was the issue for her. And is the choice B, is it not again gender discrimination? Okay. Secondly, is this choice not similar to, let me go back. If you look at this question, yeah, hire the females for the kind of role they're comfortable doing and men for the kind of role they're comfortable doing. Question number 4, choice B, look at this particular question and the question that we are discussing, are they not similar? Hire him for the job he's good at, obviously provided there's a vacancy, and provide him training in other areas. And every company, every decent company tries to upskill their employees for its own benefit. Okay. So Harsh, is this clear? Okay. So this was the last question of the day. So I'll stop here today. Okay. Okay, we'll skip this part. This is not required. Okay. So I'll stop here at this point of time. Now there are a couple of things which I want you to do. Now, based on what we have discussed today, I want you to practice. Practice where? From old XAT papers. Okay. And from the mocks as you go along. Okay. One mock has happened. Go through the questions. Wherever you have seen decision-making questions, see if you can apply these criteria and practice these questions. Okay. All that papers wherever are available in your My Zone on the portal. Okay. They are all papers which are available. I don't know the exact location. Just drop a mail to support or ask in your Telegram group. Someone will guide you. Okay. Okay. So please practice these. Uh-oh. Remember, 99 percentile varies depending on the level of difficulty of the paper. So last year, 99 percentile was at 38.4 aggregate. And the three sections, they were about roughly about 60, 17 in quant, 15 in verbal, and 14 and 15 in DM. But this can change very easily. Please remember, the level of difficulty of the paper defines everything. So, CAT में साल देख लिया ना? When people go with that close mindset की paper में इतना ही करना होता है, you struggle. So don't go with this number in mind. You go with the paper and say, okay, if there's a question which is to be solved and it is easy for me, I'll solve it. It is difficult, I'll leave and move on. That is the approach you need, Hello. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Let me see what are the other questions. Okay. Just a second. Let me see what are the other questions which are there. Okay, chalo. This is what you would look at from your point of view. Okay. Gunjan is asking my phone number. Gunjan, my phone number is 98111 55160. Let me see. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, that's it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, um, I had a small doubt regarding that. Is was like last year I gave that 25. This
Mm-hmm.
year I gave that 25.
Mm-hmm.
So one doubt I had in my mind is that last year when I solved the DM sets, my accuracy was good in DM. But when it comes to quant, the quant is slightly different when I compare it with cat. Because cat options are like very straightforward. If you solve, for example, log question that come last year in that was that you solve and what will be the value of x, so everyone marked answer two, and there are like some options like this is possible, that is possible. So how can we deal with such type of questions? Like we haven't seen such type of questions in CAT,
So इस साल
but
के कैट में नहीं देखे the such question have come in mocks also यार. For example, the log question.
hmm,
There was a log question in my slot which was a log of x on the base of x minus 3. In such a question, you'll definitely you don't just calculate the value of x. X has
hmm,
to be greater than 3 because the base cannot be negative. So it is not that you
yeah,
have not seen, maybe you missed practicing those kind of questions. Okay. So those are
okay,
there in the mocks, they are there in the study material also. So ऐसा नहीं है,
hmm,
but the solution to your problem would be to do all kind of questions. So which is why I said that 18 to 25 you definitely need to do for quant. And in
hmm,
addition to that, you should also look at the mocks. Yeah.
okay.
And in
So
general, I would say that quant is easier than cat. That may not be
okay,
true for last year specifically, but in general, you'll find that has got
hmm.
easier quant as compared to cat.
Sir, I don't know about quant, but because in CAT, how what happened, my strongest section was quant, and ended up screwing up quant. But my weakest was VRC, but I ended up scoring way better in VRC
So
than
VRC will invariably score better than quant.
I don't
In
know.
general, people will score higher in VRC as compared to
Hmm.
quant and DILR. Quant and DILR, it is usually difficult in CAT to go beyond 30 marks.
I
In
don't.
verbal, getting 30 marks is not a challenge at all. So वो चीज नहीं
Hmm.
होता. You need to look at the percentile.
Hmm. So because I was saying like this because in mocks, what used to happen when I gave CDC mocks. So in those mocks, what used to happen, I was scoring somewhere around 17, 18 marks in VRC, but I was scoring 25 and 30 in quant. But on the CAT, they became
देखो
entirely opposite for
देखो
me.
don't mix up issues.
Hmm.
Why did you not do well in the CAT?
I sir,
Answer
I
that question. That just देखो,
okay.
you are not answering the question. तुम
Hmm.
बोलो किस्मत खराब थी उसका कुछ नहीं हो सकता फिर.
Yeah, correct.
ठीक है. Have you gone through the paper again? The paper is
Yes.
there with you.
The
Have you seen the
yeah.
questions all over again?
Yeah. So I saw the questions and I was like very um, sad to see that there was so many easy questions that I couldn't solve.
Absolutely right. So if you don't pick up the easy questions, and I can give you my
Mm-hmm.
slot example. I was slot 3.
Mm-hmm.
The DI set which was the easiest was the graph, and most of the students have not attempted the graph. Who do you blame? Paper has got nothing to do with it. It was
Yeah.
your job to pick up the easy set and solve. Same thing in quant
Okay.
also. So if you don't do that, there's nothing one can do about it.
Okay. Okay. And sir, in that, should there is any specific section we should start with? Like,
नहीं यार
uh,
वो अपनी मर्जी है ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है what you are
hmm,
more comfortable is what you have to go with. Okay.
okay. So,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So there are a couple of questions. Let me pick them up. We are dedicating 2 hours daily, and 6 to 7 hours on weekend be sufficient. Yes, it should be sufficient. Okay. So I don't think we need to worry about that. How much do 12 scores matter in XLI Jamshedpur selection? They don't matter much. As far as XLI Jamshedpur is concerned, typically the weightage for that is about 60 to 65%. The interview process has typically about 25 to 30% weightage, and about 10% weightage is for other factors. Okay. This will include your marks in 10th, 12, your work experience, gender, etc. Everything will be taken care of. So between these two, it is typically 90 to 95% weightage. Okay. Only PYQs should be done in quant or other like revising CAT-CL mocks. Yes, you can do CAT-CL mocks also. My session would be focused on XAT mocks and XAT 2018 to 25 first. And in addition to that, you you would have bookmarked your quant questions. You can go through them also. Okay. 12 scores, how much do they matter? We have already covered that. Sectional cutoffs. Okay, let me give you sectional cutoffs. These are excel cutoff marks for sections for last 3 years. Okay. Last 3 years, this is the situation. And again, as I said, if you are getting a double-digit score in the section, you're by and large safe. And there's a difference between XLRI and BM. HRM and BM. Not XLRI, but HRM, BM, there's a difference. If you want to get more confused, we can take this. As far as the BM program is concerned, there's a difference between male and female. Look at engineer technology male and non-engineer male, there's the cutoffs are the same. Okay. So these two are similar cutoffs and these two are similar. So there's segregation of female and male. When it comes to HRM, there's a segregation between engineers and non-engineers. So out here you'll find male engineers and male engineers and and engineer female, then non-engineer, then all 4 of them are different. Okay, so the highest typically is for male engineers, followed by non-engineer male, followed by engineers female, followed by non-engineer female. The gap is not huge, but it is there. Okay. And you can look at the percentiles. In general, I would say, as far as XLR is concerned, for English or verbal, you should look at the verbal. You should be looking at a 90 percentile cutoff for HRM. HRM you should look at 90 percentile. BM you should look at 84 percentile. Quant is slightly lower for HRM as compared to BM, and DM is usually similar for both, but there is occasionally a minor variation. VLRs make quant able to 10 to 14 in DM last year's PA. Okay. VL, Sayam, so you know where you have to work. Next 20 odd days, just focus on global ability, logical reasoning only. And please, again, I'm repeating, make sure you've done all CAT or all that 2008 to 25 papers. Adhan says, I often get confused between two options, mostly mark the wrong one because you're not sticking to the decision criteria. I'm not saying that you'll be able to get all 21 DM questions right. No, there is certain amount of subjectivity. So getting all 21 is not going to happen. But what can definitely happen is getting a score of 15, 16, 17 is definitely possible. Just keep your focus onto the decision criteria. Okay, these are a couple of answer choices of the questions we discussed, so I'm skipping them. This I have done already. XAM Bhubaneswar is a good institute. You can definitely look upon it as a backup. It will be at par with IMT Ghaziabad or NMIMS or Symbiosis Pune. Mayank, yes, you should focus on GK as well. And as long as you have been reading newspapers regularly, we will also provide you with the GK compendium, mug it up, and hopefully a few questions will get them right. How many mocks are sufficient? You do 5 to 6 mocks. Let's say 5 to 6 old papers like a full length mock, and 5, 6 mocks should be more enough. So about 8 to 10 papers is what you should be attempting in all. Okay, Sai is saying 8 unattempted questions, no negative marking, but 0.1 after that. Should we make sure we skip only 8 questions and attempt the rest of the paper? No, Sai, that will be very stupid. Because after 8, if you attempt a wrong answer, you'll still get minus 0.25. If you leave it, you'll get minus 0.1. What is better, minus 0.25 or minus 0.1? Okay. Sarthak, as I said, something like 7, 8 papers, if you do mocks and old that papers should be good enough. Should we attempt all question DM section? Yes, I do attempt almost all questions. There might be a couple of questions where you'll get confused. Best to leave them. Okay, so I guess most of these are taken care of. Let me see if there's anything else. I think, okay, similarly here. If we clear the cutoffs, how much chance we'll get a call from XAT? Reasonably good chance. But please remember, unlike CAT, unlike the IM, XAT has, as I said, a high weightage for XAT score. XLI has a high weightage for XAT score, 60 to 65%. So while you will get a call for BM at something like a 95 percentile also, as you can see out here. But unless you are about 98 percentile or above, interview conversion becomes reasonably difficult. You need an outstanding interview with a 95 percentile to convert the call. Okay. ठीक है. Okay.